Politics is a very dirty game. And politics is also a perceptional game. It's all about perception. And that's why those who supported President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013 perceived him as the only one who could protect them from the wrath of Raila Amolo Odinga. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta was facing ICC. But the only guy who could protect the community from the wrath of Raila Odinga was President Uhuru Kenyatta. And because politics is about perception, and Uhuru Kenyatta understood this, in 2017, Uhuru Kenyatta then went further and hired Cambridge Analytica to craft another strategy on how to make these people perceive him as the only guy who could still protect them. And because Uhuru Kenyatta will not be contesting for the presidency in 2017, these guys no longer see the need of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that explains why the people who supported President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013, 2017 again, believe that Uhuru Kenyatta has failed. They believe so because Uhuru will not be in the ballot in 2022 to protect them. What about the deputy president, William Ruto? Those who support the deputy president today believe strongly and perceive him as the only one who can actually help them solve their problems. They believe if the deputy president becomes the president tomorrow, all their problems will be gone. And I want to give you a typical example. When Oscar Sudi hosted the youths from Kondele at his residence, there's something he said which actually caught my attention. That if these guys wanted to go to the deputy president, they should only go when they expect big things. Because this is in Gideon Dogondogo, he can actually solve. And indeed, if these youths were to go to the deputy president's residence and they were to be given 400 motorbikes the way Oscar Sudi promised, rest assured that most of them would believe that all their problems have been sorted out. So it's about perception. What about Raila Odinga? Those who always supported Raila Odinga always believed or perceived Raila Amolo Odinga as one individual who can actually fix the system because they believe he's a reformist. And that's why today, because of the handshake, most of them have actually disagreed or do no longer support Raila Odinga because they believe that Raila Odinga is now working with a system which has failed. So Raila Odinga is no longer a reformist they believe on. So politics is about perception. Why am I giving this long background? I'm giving this long background because today in this country, we are facing a serious debate. The debate about the revenue allocation formula. And this debate has been politicized. President Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to use the revenue allocation formula to actually endure himself to the central Kenya or the larger Mount Kenya voting bloc. Raila Amolo Odinga also wanted to use this debate to try to endure himself to the people of central Kenya, but it has backfired on him. William Samoei Ruto is also trying to use this particular debate to endure himself to the regions which were previously perceived to be strongholds of Raila Amolo Odinga. But in all these attempts, who has gained and who has lost? I strongly believe, and based on what I've observed, the deputy president has actually outwitted Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta in this revenue allocation politics. I'm talking of the perception outside there. And this is how he has managed to do it. Number one, let us look at William Ruto's strongholds. If you've been following this debate, when it began, the deputy president did not give his voice on this matter. Then at some point, he tweeted about our win-win situation. Then he relaxed again for 2 more days. And then after 2 days, the deputy president had studied how Kenyans reacted to that win-win situation. So the deputy president then went for a function in Nandi, and he chose Nandi to respond to this particular matter.
That one of the counties that is going to benefit from this formula is Nandi County. And that is very good. But I don't think for Nandi County to benefit, Turkana County must lose. I think we can have a win-win. So mimi nataka niwaulize kwa unyenyekevu, twende barabara hiyo. Inawezekana viongozi waketi chini na waongee na waweke mambo yetu pamoja ndio Kenya itembee kama ikiwa moja.
And in his response, the deputy president clearly stated that is now supporting a win-win situation where no county was going to lose and no county was going to gain at the expense of the other. So why was deputy president taking this stand? Nandi County was gaining, and the person who was leading the support for this bill was actually the Nandi Senator, Samson Cherargei. But the deputy president was now with him here and telling the people of Nandi to allow for a win-win situation. He didn't tell this guy to stop supporting this bill. So basically, the allies of the deputy president from Rift Valley were gaining, and all of them supported this bill. In central Kenya, his allies were vocal in supporting this bill. And if anything, even if the deputy president were to say that this were to oppose this bill, there was no way he was going to lose Nandi. There was no way he was going to lose Kericho. There was no way he was going to lose Bomet. So he was safe in that region. Now we go to Central. In Central, Uhuru Kenyatta is trying to use this to endure himself, which is working for him, by the way. But what about Raila Odinga? Because Uhuru will not be on the ballot. What about Raila Odinga? The allies of the deputy president used the opportunity to attack Raila Odinga. 4 senators from Nyanza voted for that bill. In Rift Valley, Kipchumba Murkomen opposed the bill. Why were they not pointing out Kipchumba Murkomen from Rift Valley, who opposed the bill and a key ally of the deputy president? So in my view, out of all this, perceptionally, the deputy president and his stronghold are still intact the way they were before. Unless you have an explanation, which I want to read it here, tell me why you think the deputy president has lost his strongholds, which is Central Kenya and Rift Valley, out of this revenue allocation debate. So he has won on that. Number 2 is Raila Odinga's strongholds. The deputy president, in my view, the position he took has actually helped him in a way to endure himself to the people or to the areas which were strongholds of Raila Odinga. You know, coastal region has always stood with Raila Odinga. Coastal region is one of the marginalized areas in this country. So by Raila Odinga opposing this particular, by Raila Odinga supporting this bill, which the coastal people were opposing, then now William Ruto now appeared as a savior, because the deputy president was not supporting, he was not opposing. He took a middle ground. So today, the people of the coast were actually like, now Ruto is our true friend. So Raila Odinga has lost there. Uhuru Kenyatta didn't have interest at the coast, because Uhuru Kenyatta is not going to contest for the presidency again. So he didn't have any interest. So at the coast, Raila Odinga was losing. And that's why you've seen Raila Odinga issued very many conflicting reports, statements. Initially, he released a statement which was very vague, but though consistent, about the revenue allocation formula, the CRA original formula. That original formula was not before the Senate. And I'm not sure whether it will be before the Senate. Then yesterday, Raila Odinga was quoted by NTV, clearly stating that he do not want a situation where we are going to have a winner and a loser. He wanted a situation where we are going to have a win-win situation. And today, Raila Odinga has reaffirmed his original stand on the original CRA formula. So Raila Odinga is being affected, but the deputy president is enduring himself to his support base there. I mean, to Raila Odinga's stronghold there. And I'm sure if we didn't have this particular pandemic today, the deputy president would have headed straight to the coast to explain to him, to the people of the coast, why he is standing with them. And of course, he unleashed a team from the coastal region to hit on Raila Odinga on this particular matter. Now, what about the pastoralist? Because remember, the deputy president joined Jubilee through URP. URP was formed as a pastoralist party. The pastoralists are in Narok County is one of them. There's the Turkana, one of them. There is the Samburu. Then we have the Moyale. We have the Marsabit. We have the Northeastern. They formed the pastoralist. These guys voted for the deputy president. But the deputy president is very clear on this matter. that he's not talking, he's not supporting, he's not opposing. He's actually unleashed his senators to vote based on their particular interest. So if you are coming from Northeastern, vote based on that. So if you call him, he will tell you, my friend, where vote him. This other side, the same. But Raila Odinga in these areas, which voted for Jubilee, apart from Narok and Turkana, he's now leaving these guys as orphans. And that's why you find someone like the Turkana senator, the Narok senator, now opposing. They're standing on opposite side with Raila Odinga, something which Raila Odinga should not have allowed. And Raila Odinga could have used this opportunity, for example, because the deputy president is not very clear on what it stands for. Raila Odinga should have used this opportunity to endure himself to the voters in these particular regions. So that's pastoralist. 4. Now, what about nationally? At the national level, this bill is bad. And why is it bad nationally? It is bad nationally because President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handlers wanted to use this particular one man, one vote, one shilling campaign to endure himself to the voters in the larger Mount Kenya region. So they've managed to create a 41 versus 1 narrative, something which Mwai Kibaki used effectively. So the entire country now view the people of Mount Kenya as if they were the only guys who are going to gain. So it was by design, because Uhuru need Mount Kenya behind him. But nationally, Raila Odinga is now supporting that bill. So it means Raila Odinga has now gone with the people of Central Kenya. So the rest of the country now view Raila Odinga as a traitor, as a betrayer. But the deputy president who chose middle ground has now gained. He has now gained. And that's how I'm looking at it. And number 5 is the role of the deputy president in all this. The deputy president is today viewed in this country as an outsider in government. He's an outsider. That's the reality. He doesn't control Senate, he doesn't control parliament. We saw his guys being kicked out, yeah? But then, he's an outsider, and one of his guys took to the floor of the house and came to the aid of the people who are going to lose. And because the deputy president is not in government, he doesn't carry the burden of being in government. I am sure if the deputy president was still with Uhuru Kenyatta the way they were before, he would be the one pushing for this particular bill. But today, because he's out of government, it has given him an opportunity to sit on the fence. And that's exactly what the deputy president is doing. And lastly, on the Building Bridges initiative, in my view, it's going to fail, or it can lead the BBI to fail. Why am I saying this? The country is not ready now. Country is facing the COVID. Then the perception you are creating outside there is that you are taking away resources from certain countries. Remember, the Building Bridges initiative is proposing more money to be devolved. And here you are in a situation where you are taking the already existing money. And again, Kenyans are tired now. I want to tell you one thing. Kenyans are very tired. This COVID has put this country in a situation they've never been before. So Kenyans are very tired. They are very angry. They don't have money in their pocket. Hakuna kitu kwa tumbo. So Kenyans are very bitter today. Then you still come and relate the revenue allocation formula to the Building Bridges initiative. What are you telling them? And then Raila Odinga still comes out and talk about the Building Bridges initiative. Who are Raila Odinga's advisors?
Yes, no, I've said COVID allowing, there are several factors which we have to consider. I think the most important one is the issue of COVID. Initially, we were thinking that we would be able to do a referendum by July, latest August. But this has not been possible. And that's why we are saying we are hoping that we will peak by September. And after that, we start going down in October and November. So we're thinking that we may be in a position to do a referendum by end of November or sometimes in December.
How will this be possible? Are we going to put in mechanisms that are going to make sure that there is probably social distancing, or voting is also going to be online and all this? How do you intend to pick up this?
We There will be many other ways. The countries which are involved in balloting, you see, Tanzania is going to do an election in October. The USA is going to do an election in November this year. There's other countries. So we look at what other countries are going to do and see how we can do it. We will not do something that will jeopardize the health or safety of our people.
Basically, this revenue allocation debate can actually connect the deputy president to the rest of the country. Something is convincing me that. I don't know what you think. But in my view, out of this, because politics is perception, the deputy president has managed the way people perceive him outside there in regards to this revenue allocation formula in a more positive way compared to Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga today is coming out as someone who is undecided, as someone who is siding with oppressors. Let me just use that term, sorry. Uhuru Kenyatta is being perceived as someone who is just standing with his own community. So the deputy president has managed to balance it so well. And that's a very good politics, in my view, on the part of the deputy president, William Samoei Ruto. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And if you're watching this video for the first time again, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is today. Thank you guys, and please, may you enjoy your day.